Hi, my name's Elizabeth Umfris, and I have had the honor, privilege, and fun of studying diversity, equity, and inclusion within organizations, within universities for the last 20 years.
My name is Gordon Tribble, and I work in the entertainment industry, and I am a proud union member.
And my name is Chuck Zimmerman, and I am the principal of Northwest Polite Society, a small marketing agency in Seattle, Washington. And I'm very interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and so I'm just participating in this conversation.
I've received a question, and I'm wondering what both of you think about it, related to equality and equity and how they are different. So I wanted to start maybe with just talking a little bit about what equity is. And when I am going into an organization or I'm talking to an organization about what equity might look like, then my questions are things like, does this organization, how does it look? What is the group membership of people at the top versus people at the bottom? Do all groups have the opportunity to get to higher levels of that organization? Do they have the opportunity to enter that organization? And who's making decisions? And are groups represented in the table, at the table, or in other areas where people are making decisions? And so those are types of questions when I use an equity lens. Equality is something different. It's looking for things to all be equal. And that is usually, it could be fair. It sounds really fair, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound really fair? But many times it's not fair because some individuals require more access to different opportunities versus other individuals. And so providing equality is really not very helpful. So for example, let's say I'm trying to get access to something at a higher shelf. And I'm 5'8", so I can reach that higher shelf and I can get that object. Whereas someone else needs a booster or a ladder in order to get something from that higher shelf. Now, if someone gave me that ladder, I wouldn't need it. But the individual who can't reach it, they're the ones who need it. And so from an equity perspective, the person who needs the ladder gets the ladder. And from an equality perspective, everybody gets a ladder. Well, you can see that everybody doesn't need a ladder. So we only give the ladders to those who need it, who need to get that access. And we can think about this in a variety of different ways in organizations. So some people need that training. Other people already come in with that training. And so it would not be beneficial to them to have that extra training. And so some people need more access. It wouldn't be beneficial for other individuals to have more access because they already have it. And so that's more of an equity lens. And on the end, we want to see that all individuals that have the will or want to be a member of an organization, a member of a system, to be promoted to those higher levels, have the opportunity to do so. So that would be the outcome I look for from an equity perspective. So what does equality and equity look like to you?
So with DEI, so the E stands for equality or equity?
It is absolutely equity.
It's equity.
It is equity. Equity and inclusion, yes.
Okay. So basically what it is making the playing field fair for everyone that's involved. So it's basically civil rights as well. So you have your civil rights, and then which is everybody should be treated equally and have the opportunities that everyone else has, right? And so then equity is basically making it available for everyone to have the same rights as everyone else.
Getting closer to having fairness in the system, yes.
Right.
And there's clear unfairness within our system. And so you can look all the way back to education. And so we know that some school districts have more access to money because those school districts are richer or have more money than other school districts. And this, we can take it all the way back to preschool, kindergarten, right, but it goes on to high school. And so individuals, because they have more access to money, they have better education, better opportunities, more clubs to participate in, more ways to enrich and gain additional knowledge. And so, of course, that's going to translate into being more prepared for college.
Right.
And we also know that parents who have gone to college before are individuals that can give their children knowledge about what it's like to be in college, for example. And those kids who have parents who went to college have a leg up or an extra opportunity because they have their parents that they can look in their experience and ask them questions.
Right.
Whereas if your parents never went to college, then you can't rely on that expectation. And so the people who are from the school districts that have less money, have less opportunity, are, in order for it to be equal and for us to have equity, we need to provide more opportunities and mentorship and fellowship
right,
to individuals from other backgrounds that lower socioeconomic status that don't have access to those opportunities. The assumption that we have equality is wrong. That is not true. We do not have equality.
So then equity, basically, it makes the playing field more even. It makes education, everything, like what our civil rights are accessible to everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And so the goal is to have more fairness in the system. The goal is to make it such that no matter where you grow up, you have opportunities for all the things that we care about.
Right.
In the way that I look at like equity versus equality is, this is the dreaded word, is about making some accommodations for individuals, whether it be like calling you to catch up or actually mentoring people because you see something in them and an interest that they have, and then taking the time to go and mentor them, listen to their ideas and let them. And I'm saying this as a person who employs people. But I think that the way that I've always approached it is to go ahead and like allow people around me the freedom and then give them the tools that they feel like they need, or if there are other things that we can discuss on helping them to excel. And I think it also comes back to like employers, because you end up with, if you're working with a person to make them a better person or the person that they want to be in the way that they want to grow, they will then go ahead and bring that new expertise and those opinions and those thoughts and ideas back to you, and will make you smarter and you richer in many ways. And I think that I'm just trying to make a very simple way of looking at it. And in the act of like providing someone a more equitable existence, you actually get closer to equality.
Yeah.
And I think by trying to be equitable, it actually would put people here, like people that work with me and stuff, I would hope that they feel like they're more equal to me, because like I generally I'm not a person, or I don't believe I'm a person that I'm not a top-down leader. I'm not someone who views myself as being someone especially more special than anyone else here, and I think it's really important when you think about it through mindset. I hate it when people say that someone works for me, because I really think of us as coworkers. I just happen to have I've gotten myself into a situation where I had enough capital to actually kind of do this thing. And then we get to do things like this, which have in some ways, they're really just about values. And so we actually do spend a little bit of our time like thinking about our values and defining our values. And I think that everybody here has an input into that. And I think that also makes it more equitable in our relationship. And I think maybe equitable it's really more of a relationship than it is like a dictate, and just like saying we're not going to impose. I think the best way to have things that are equitable is to find out what the needs of each person is, and to go ahead and like really think about, how, like I said, I really think of it as an improvement process. And by virtue of that person improving, I'm improving too. So that's kind of my short and simple take on it.
I really appreciate that perspective a lot. So thank you for sharing it.